We are back again with the closer of the other clip that I started. We're going to share this one out too because the title is different. So we're going to share this one out too. It bothers me when people text you and they're expecting a reply right away, and then they don't show back up to see your replies. It's okay. Nobody's mad. Okay. We are going to refresh what we just shared around. It's gonna take me a minute, y'all, so bear with me here. I'll share the link around to everybody. It's funny. It's funny. Hey. Cognizant Sapiens is live now. Let's get some viewers going on. They called Love is live now. Cognizant Sapiens is live now. So I got 3 channels going on. Monique explains feeling betrayed by Oprah. See, the celebrities ain't good people. If you feel betrayed by somebody who's famous, then you probably are being betrayed by somebody famous. It's just because they're famous don't mean they're good people. You know, they've maybe worked hard and manipulated their way to the top, but we're not trying to do that here. All these notifications are getting out of here. Google Opinion Rewards is actually something that pays out. I use it for buying credits at Google Pay or Google Play, and I use those credits to make in-app purchases. You can buy TikTok tokens and give people like roses and stuff with it. You don't have to ever spend a dime with Google in order to earn money. It's kind of cool. So I just gave a shout out to the Google Opinion Rewards. If you guys want to do a partnership, I'm down for that. I need some monetizations. You'll be starting subscriptions soon. Almost got to the point where it's able to be used. I know that I can on Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat. Those are all capable of monetization right now, but I don't really use them all that much. I use YouTube and Facebook and Twitch most of the time. So we do have a Telegram, a Signal, a WhatsApp business. What else we got? We got let's see. Patreon, yeah. We got a Patreon and like business suite and shit like that to talk with everybody on, and fucking happy hump day, everybody. What day is it? Hump day. Hump Chris Day, yeah. Somebody come help me. Huh? See, the humping I'm getting offered I don't want, but the humping I want I'm not getting offered. uh, it's funny. It's funny. Come here, let me cut you. I cut you. I'm Ahmed. All right, it's time to throw in the opener. There it is. I got this new Bitcoin game, looking casino game, and you can win Bitcoins on it. So, I got 300 and something thousand Bitcoins. Hey, my nephew's gonna come right now. 386,000 and 520. Off the eBay. I'll look, if you pay for it, challenge reward of 30 grand. Remember I told you I was gonna throw something on top of it for you? Even though you're the only casino games that I've found that work, you have to use the browser with, and the apps don't pay out. So you have to one of them is luckylandslots.com, chumbacasino.com. That's CHUMBA. And then there's a jackpot slots, and the other one is Casino Royale. They all work if you use the browser. Bitcoin Casino has stopped. Oh, what a bummer. Hello, viewer. How are you today? What's going on? So the video is about gratefulness and uh, just like accepting the things that we have instead of dreading the things that we don't have. Like, the first rule about manifestation is you live the way like you've already got what you've asked for. So, like, say for example, I wanted to be a better impact on my peers, then I would have to live like I already do. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, it just falls into place, and it doesn't take much effort to, you know, pretend a little bit, right? But we're pretending for real, and it's not only helping you become a better person internally, but it's also um, giving us something to, be happy about ourselves for, instead of like looking for someone else to bring you a smile to your face. Like, bring that bubble up from the guts of, and put that smile on your face by yourself, because nobody's responsible for your happiness except for you, and so, um, if you know somebody that's having a bad day, it's always easier to cheer them up when you're in a happy mood already, and what we seem to be facing these days is everybody's looking for external things to bring them validation, when you should already feel validated with the insights that you do have. And like, the only reason why I research the things that I feel are important is because I have to see how accurate my intuition is. You know, um, I'll I'll get something out of the air, and it'll decode itself or uncode itself in my mind, and I'll get this idea that I don't know where it came from. But that's why I said I get something out of the air, and it just like starts unfolding, and eventually I'll get this idea. It'll, you know, reminisce or whatever you call it, contemplate on that memory or that idea, and I'll find this answer to it somehow. And then when I find that answer, I'm like, okay, that's what it means from within. So let's see how accurate this is, and we'll define it, and we'll find out what it means. And 98% of the time, I'll find correlating things that give me the incentive to keep searching, because like every little piece of the puzzle matters. And once you find the bigger picture to put it in, it's everything starts making more sense. With like the subliminals and like symbolisms, all that kind of shit. Like dreams mean a lot. Um, Other than that, like it's just basics, really. Hit more gold, Hold'em in another casino game. Okay, see if I can get StreamYard up on my tablet here and see if we're going to be able to use it. I need to find Chrome. Oh, it's in the Google folder, I bet. Let's see, Chrome, yes. We're going to do like notifications. Google Chat download, Gmail, Leviathan dolphin species. Let's see, we're going to do StreamYard first. StreamYard. Yay! I don't know what email I'm using with this place. Log in for business. Let's see what's this got. Offers they got me in the business tab. Production services, case studies, and StreamYard for business. Let's see what that does. The easiest way to live stream and record for businesses. Let's talk. Ways to use StreamYard live, host webinars, record videos. StreamYard's one of the better browser-based professional stream engines where you don't have to download anything in order to use it. It's straight from the browser. All you have to do is grant permissions for StreamYard to access your microphone and your video camera. And from there, it's all device from that point on. You can do everything else from your phone. I've been using it for a little over a year, and I've got over 100 videos saved on their hard drive, which I'm about to lose if I don't pay the bill, but that's okay. Uh, I can use the free version for a while if I have to, but I'd rather keep my streamed videos as a saved archive so we can go back to them for future reference. Um, I am part of Anchor Podcasts also, and uh, you can find my work on Himalaya.com, which is a streaming podcast service. There's another one that I'm part of that's Himalaya got bought out by this other company, and now it's like, let me see. I'm going to window out for a second. I'll be right back. And it is called Listen Notes. That's what it's called. It's called Listen Notes, and it's another engine where you can like do like Anchor stuff or Spotify podcasts and stuff like that. So I've actually rescued one an old show that I made. Not so common knowledge. It's got the Keys of Enoch and um, open-ended cosmology, which is the first book of Enoch talks about that right in the beginning of the book. It's open-ended cosmology, which has like it's like open-ended communication. It doesn't have a target goal. It's just open for whatever. And since it's cosmology, it's more like the cosmos. You know, it's space and planets and stars and the energies within the universe itself. It teaches us a lot about the fallen ones or the watchers. It references them a lot. There's 200 of them. There was uh, Luciferian and Belial bloodlines, which are anti-Christic, which are against the resonance of natural life. It's a reversed. Uh, I wrote about it a little bit before I knew about it. This situation makes more sense if you look at it from a reversed scenario. You know, uh, I don't remember slaughtering a bunch of people back in the day, but I do remember being slaughtered by somebody back in the day. uh, so there's like two sides to every story. There's a vicar and there's a defeated, right? So the humans were defeated twice now so far in this world, and we're on third seeding since 560 million years ago, and it's finally coming to the final tipping points where if all we can do is sit around and talk about it, then we're gonna lose for sure. But we got to start making physical moves, like playing an actual game of chess. We're not just looking and watching no more. We're actually having to make plays if we want to like liberate ourselves from tyranny and all that. It, I know a lot of people probably don't even pay attention to that shit, but don't wait till they're knocking down your door and taking you prisoner to a FEMA camp. You probably start preparing now. Stock up on water and non-perishables like canned foods and stuff like that, and dry foods. Stock up on your paper products like your toilet paper and your napkins. Uh, Try to save all the newspapers that you get because you may need it to light fires. Um, Make sure you tell your loved ones too and all your friends that it should be like felt by now. If you're not distracted from your internal self, then you should be feeling a little bit off these days that something major is about to happen, and it's bizarre. I feel a great changer coming. And I said that once before, and it was actually something personal that I was feeling was going to happen, and I was right. Um, I had the feeling of something bad happening, but it wasn't on a mass scale. It was just personal. So that's part of intuitive or something like that. Uh, but on another note, don't let anybody take your power away from you. You know, by like stealing your ideas or making you feel like they're not important, because every idea, every thought is important. It depends on what you do with it. King Dagobert II, mascot of the OLE. As we have mentioned, Capricorn is based on Enki, the horned sea god that spawned the Merovingian bloodline. It is also close to the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year, when the sun was said to die, mythologically, and turn black, descending into the underworld for 3 days. This black period of the sun is associated with the god Kronos, another horned sea god, ruler of the underworld. Huh. Interesting, isn't it? Um, so it's off of the bibliothèque, right? It's about King Dagobert, which is the embodies the archetype of the Lord of the Earth, a symbolic grand monarch spoken of in occult lore who is destined to one day rule the nations in a holy empire built upon hermetic principles. Oh, wonderful. Dagobert's entire life is historically recorded as mythological and archetypal. His name betrays the divine origins of his bloodline. Dagobert comes, of course, from Dagon. Now the word Bert, as the author, L.A. Waddle, has shown, has its roots in a word bara or para, or angelicized pharaoh or priest king of the temple or house. So Dagobert's name literally means priest king of the house of Dagon. Interestingly, a rarely found but nonetheless authentic variation on Dagobert's name was Dragobert, emphasizing his lineage from the beast of the deep waters, the dragon Leviathan. Ooh, look at that. That's truth right there. Leviathan, right? It's not a fucking beast, it's a human bloodline that came out of the fucking ocean, right? It's the mermaidic type, the aquatic type. They look like aquatic apes, like dolphin mixed with ape type looking thing. And if we find a picture, I will be more than happy to show you. But here's the trepanned skull of Dragobert II. Here's a skull in a chalice. Can't see with the glare, but um, Satanism, shit the fuck, pierced with a lance through the eye on December 23rd, 679 AD, while on a ritual hunt in the sacred forest of Warveries at Satanicum, the Merovingian dynasty's capital, deep beside the haunted Ardennes. Satanicum was so named because of the Temple of Saturn, which is also the Temple of Solomon, right? Which was located there during the Roman times. And you know what they found underneath Solomon's temple was Al-Aqsa, which is a deity that they worshipped back in the day in the pagan times. Faticum was so named because of the Temple of Saturn, which was located during the Roman times. Satan and Saturn are the same words, the early Latin and the other late Latin. Here's some alternatives drawn from the picture, which it draws of 25 listed names of the city with their time of appearance. We have mentioned Capricorn is based on Enki, the horned sea god that spawned the Merovingian bloodline. It is also close to the winter solstice, the shortest day in the year when the sun is said to die. Yeah, we read that part already. The god Kronos, another horned sea god, ruler of the underworld and king of Atlantis, who figures repeatedly in this Grail Reigns Le Chateau mystery. Secondly, the murder is said to take place at midday, which, as I have mentioned in another article, is an extremely significant moment in time for mystery schools of the secret doctrine like Freemasonry. The parchments found by Beringer, Swannery, and the related poem, The Serpent Rogue, make a special mention of it. This is when the sun is the highest in the sky. The fact that it was done by a family member is significant too. This is similar to the dolorous stroke that wounds the Fisher King in the Grail story, something which took place at midday and was inflicted by the king's own brother. In this story, the brother who wounds the Fisher King is himself known as the Dark Lord, and during the fight he is wounded in the left eye precisely as Dagobert was wounded. The same thing happened to Horus in Egyptian mythology, fighting his uncle Set. The left eye of Horus came to symbolize the hidden knowledge of the gods, just as the left-hand path does today. Dagobert's death appears to follow the same patterns as many other fallen kings or murdered gods whose death must be avenged, and it is meant to symbolize the concept of the lost or fallen kingdom the same way the dolorous stroke does in the Holy Grail story. Ooh, this is nice. The reason for Dagobert's canonization remains unclear. According to the one source, it was because his relics were believed to have preserved the vicinity of Stedney against Viking raids, though this explanation begs the question, for it is not clear why the relics should have possessed such powers in the first place.
This is crazy because look how this shit comes. This one comes with one spring, and this one comes with two springs. Yeah. So the kid,
the Dagobert, for some reason, became the object of a fully fledged cult.
It has. What about that one? Yeah, that's the one. Because that's the fat spring, but you also need the inner recoil spring.
Merovingian bloodline did not die out, surviving through his son Sigisbert, and continues to jockey for the throne of France to this very day, through the various royal bloodlines throughout Europe. Surely they knew that this kingdom would rise again. Let's look up Dwarka real quick. That was Krishna's resting place. And there's some interesting shit there too, just like Jericho.
That for once Hebrews, they had like this shit. Everyone's telling me keep it. I was like, fool, think about it.
Astrotheology, the Atlantean conspiracy.
I said, why the fuck did the military fucking get rid of cities and start going with Block 19? Because there's a reason behind it.
The military?
He's like, yeah, because they had a better contract. I was, no, fool. The fucking 6 hours fucking suck. No, the reason why they won the contract. They won the contract over Block, but they got it.
Symbol of the goat's head and the inverted pentagram is said
made so cheap
to be the traditional glyph of medieval European Satan witchcraft. Since that time, the sabbatical goat has become ubiquitous throughout the left-hand path of occultism. The letters around the perimeter, usually displayed in Hebrew consonants in common usage, spells LVTHN, Leviathan. Ooh. In apocryphal Jewish holy literature, it was Lilith, fleeing to the Red Sea, who became identified with the Leviathan, a sea monster, often portrayed as a giant serpent or draken. The colors used in representations of the above are invariably red on black.
Well, yeah, they wanted that. That's the one they wanted. They wanted the 1980.
Thought of a satanic, these colors on the Azimuth or imperial level of the Kabbalistic tree of life are not satanic at all, but are sacred to Binah. The emperor is red, representing Dionysianism. dynamism, and the Empress is black, representing the primordial sea of understanding or being. Space-time. Red and black were used by Cathars, who tied their blue-black robes with the hated little red cord, which also appears in the greater points in Scottish witchcraft. Huh. The use of a red cord has a twofold symbolism in that it is also identified as the woolen cord that was wrapped around the horns of the scapegoat of Jewish history. The scapegoat was identified as Azazel, an angel or Nephilim watcher, a prototype of the later sacrificial god king. Binah is ruled by the planet Saturn or Kronos. This takes us into the Titanic period of civilization, which preceded the Jehovah or Olympic age. The sacred flower of Binah is the lily, and its tree is the cypress, used for both funerals and weddings, destruction and creation. And its sacred animal is the bee, the sacred mason, and the drinker of the nectar of the lily. This is all symbolisms and shit from ancient texts, and like, and it's breaking it down for me all in like layman terms almost. Chem Zoroaster. Ham is known traditionally as Chem in Hermetics. In dualism, he is known as Chem Zoroaster, a great and venerable magus, the archon of the 10th age of Capricorn. Ooh, that's great. Everything runs around Capricorn. It's fucking scary. Yeah. Ham, the accursed one of the Christian Bible, moved to Egypt as a dragon king of the line of Anunnaki, the originators and draconian patrons of human kinship. Ham and Chem Zoroaster became Chem, the first wars of solar disc upon his forehead, suspended between two goat horns. Ham and Chem is create kings, first god king of the Egyptian cult of Draco. The Sobek title may distinguish the grafted line in the immigrant dragon kings of Sumeria from the indigenous Semitic, Nubian, and other dynasties. Ham is Chem Zoroaster, and also as Chem, and later Pan, son of Hermes, is closely linked to the concept of Aryan dualism and its symbolism, the entwined serpents, Mazda and Ahriman, light and dark. Mazda is Ormuzd, and Ahriman is Enlil, or Jehovah. Ormuzd derives from the Indo-European orm, a worm or dragon, and Mazd, white or light, hence white worm. See vampire mythology, or dragon of light. See, the fucking shit is all spawned off of werewolves and vampires in the very beginning. They've changed it around to make it less mythologically sounded. You know, they're trying to pull the roots of mythology and like they're weeds, but they always keep growing back because you can't get rid of the truth, you know. Let's see. Dionysus. So, see, I went through a thing that someone told me was a Dionysus initiation, and Dionysus is the god of partying, and I was doing a lot of partying at that time. I was doing a lot of drinking, a lot of drugs, and smoking weed and all this shit, and I was practicing and learning about like what this article is kind of talking about, like the reptilians, the Drekins, and adrenochrome and all that kind of shit. Then it happened, and that's the spot that I was explaining to the guy. And he says, "Dude, being pulled out of your body like that, it kind of sounds like a Dionysus initiation." And I was like, "What the fuck is that?" It's like it's the partying, the god of partying and like orgies. I'm not like that. It's funny. Dionysus was the son of Zeus. The worship of Dionysus was brought from India by the Alexandrian Greeks. Zeus's father was known as the Indian or Aryan Dispater, which translates as Deus Pater of Father God, aka Enlil or Jehovah. If Hermes can be identified as a variant of Mithras, who was descended from the Aryan Zervan, the Hermes is either an uncle or brother of Dionysus. Zervan is time. Saturn or Kronos is old father time. Therefore, Zervan and Saturn are identifiable. Consequently, Mithras is Hermes, son of Cronos, who also fathered Zeus. Hermes and Zeus are brothers. If Zeus is Enlil, then Hermes is Enki. Samiel, Mazdoa, or Mazda, i.e. Mazda is Mithras. Hermes is the father of Pan, and Zeus is the father of Dionysus. Pan and Dionysus are always featured in the same retinue, and as Bacchus, Pan's rites duplicate those of his twin Dionysus. The totem animals of Dionysus are the panther, Jesus ben Panther, the goat, and the wolf. Strigosha, werewolf, Mithraic totem. Other symbols include the basket with alchemical eggs as serpents. The Dionysic rites were cannibalistic and vampiric, and echo the era of the cannibalism and vampirism of the Titanic era of the sons of the Nephilim. The Titans is the Titanic area. Uh, if Zervan is the Titan Kronos, father of Zeus Enlil, then Kronos is Anu, who is the son of Apsu or Uranus. The union between Hermes, Samiel, and Aphrodite, Venus, as in Venus Sheba Lilith, included the nymph Salmaxis, with whom they enjoined much as with Samiel, Lilith, and the blind serpent. Hermes is the uncle of Dionysus, who is cousin of Pan. Comparative genealogies: Apsu, Anu, Enlil, Enki, Marduk, Uranus, Cronus, Hermes, Zeus, Pan, Zervan, Ormuzd, Mithras, and Dionysus, and Odin, and Siegfried. The Baphomet. In Draconian tradition, see Kenneth Grant, Baphomet is translated as Baphomitra, or Father Mithras. Baphomet is also rendered as head of source of wisdom. If Baphomet is rendered father or source, Mithras and Mithras is identified as Samiel the dragon, then one of the source or head dragon, the origin of Pendragon. Luther Pendragon. Huh. That was part of the King Arthur's court was Luther Pendragon, and he's a draconian lineage. So maybe he was an infiltrator of the Grail lines. It's all right here, so I'm not making shit up. It's referencing the Holy Grail bloodlines, which there's 12 angelic bloodlines included in that, and they all originated here as 12 tribes, not the 12 tribes of Israel. We're not talking about that fraudulent tribe. We're talking about the original angelic human tribes that were spaced around at the 12 gateway sites, acting as protectors of the realm, like guardians of the galaxy, so to speak. It's referencing all that shit. What do you think? The movie is presented as entertainment, but they're mocking the fucking shit they've done on this world as they became conquered and seen. It's crazy. It doesn't take rocket science to use a little intuition and some deep thinking and analyze old ancient texts. If you know the references they're making, if you know the gods they speak of, then you know that it's all Anunnaki shit. You know, it's all alien. It's all reptilian shit. It's not human lineage. It's not human history. It's the invaders who came and fucking killed everybody and raped our women, and fucking that's their history. What the Bible and all that is. It's not worldly people's history. Because the very beginning of the book says, when the fallen sons of God came and devoured, or they lusted or ravaged the women of the planet, they took with them wives of which they chose, forced themselves, and as they came upon the women, or came in within the women, right? It's referencing is when they loaded off inside them and impregnated them. They forced them to carry the babies all the way to term and give birth to demonic babies. Right? If they fell from heaven, then they weren't good people anymore, right? They had changed and went evil. But It's the way the pendulum swings. You got your yin and your yang, which is the dark and the light mixed in with each other, and it's swirling in the rotation of the dark and the light of the universe, right? And so we're gonna have to know that it's expected that within the good, there's always going to be a little bad, you know, and within the bad, there's always going to be a little bit of light at the end of the dark tunnel that gives you the hope to keep pushing forward. So that's my take on that little bit of it. I'm uh, mainly talking to you guys, but I'm just recording what I'm reading here because they will. It's been 40 minutes. I've been reading out of this, the bibliothèque, which means the library. Basically, it's a library, is what bibliothèque means. It's a library of knowledge and archived factual data that's been it's like a patents thing for information. You can search up in the patents department anything that is invented, and you can find all the pieces of these inventions in the patents department because they're individually patented, right? So you got a bicycle, it's got the pedals, it's got the foot things that go on the pedal. Those are all separate. The chain, the cogs, the fucking sprockets, the pegs, the spokes, all the bolts, they're all separately patented, and they're spread them out by name. So when you're searching through the patents, you have to search them up by alphabetical name because it's not going to have all these patents to the same invention in one link. So it's easy to find. You have to actually be spread out. I've found a lot of data on the patents department that like the apparatus that they use to intensify hurricanes or tornadoes. There's an earthquake machine that they have invented that simulates earthquakes. It's crazy, but it makes you really think, like, which species are we dealing with here? Like, it's not a race war; it's a blood war. It's a thing of the blood, and the surface shit is all a distraction to keep us from finding out these answers that we all just kind of found some together. It's that easy, though, really, for the viewers. It's that easy to research things. You know, I will share the bibliotheca link in the chat, though, so people can actually read it and find it for themselves. So post a comment. All right. Peace out, everybody.